What's going on? What's going on? I'm Eugene Napoleon. This is Napoleon's Corner. Hope all is well. Before I get started with this particular topic, please make sure you subscribe to the channel. I would greatly appreciate your support. This is actually episode 233. And this particular topic, this episode is called I Remember. I Remember. I remember when morals, honor, values, respect were the standards. I remember a time when those were the absolute standards. You couldn't do anything without having morals. You really couldn't do anything without having honor. You didn't make any decisions or do anything without having some value, and respect was always key. Those were core principles. Those were core values. I remember. I remember when those things were so crucial and really placed high value on those particular standards to the point where you didn't even have to question a person. I remember those times. Those were back in yesteryears, right? I remember when your words in conviction were your bond. So your word, when you said something and what you said, you stood strong on your conviction about what you said, and that was the bond. Your word was your bond. I remember. I remember having conversations with my mom about how you treat people is how you would want to be treated. So again, when you're talking about the code and the bond of being respectful and how you show up for yourself every day with that moral code, like I just stated, and those values and honor and being a high character individual meant more than anything. Those personal convictions that became your personal growth and how you carried yourself every day was the key standard. I remember. I remember a time when no matter what was going on, it didn't matter the color of your skin, it didn't matter the age, it didn't matter where you lived, it didn't matter what was in your bank account, it didn't matter what car you drove, what kind of house you lived in. None of those things mattered. What mattered were the key value of how you treated people, how you took care of one another, how you took care of your community, how you showed up for other people in need, how greed wasn't a necessary tool to get over on people and to take advantage of people, where being arrogant, pompous, those wasn't the convictions that you stood on. I remember. Now, all of a sudden, we've hit a brick wall when it comes to morality. Now, all of a sudden, it seems as though everything that you do that's right, people want to chastise you and make what's right wrong. And it's the complete opposite. The things that you do that are wrong, you have people coming to your defense because they want to make what you did wrong, they want to make that right. And now, doing what's wrong, people stand on that as if that's the standard. Doing what's wrong, people stand on that as if that's their conviction. I remember a time when none of that stuff mattered. Wrong was just simply wrong. Doing what's right took such a high value that you didn't want to be cast in that light where you were not respectful, where you didn't conduct yourself with honor and with principle, where you didn't want to be put in that category of being labeled disrespectful on any level for any reason. I remember. It seems as though those times are long gone. And it's truly unfortunate. I think God has given all of us grace. God has given all of us opportunities to get it right. Humanity has to change. And I think the sooner, the better when we turn back the hands of time and go back to yesteryear, where those things that are really important comes full circle again. Again, like honor, like respect, like morals, like values, like that standard of being a good person is far more important than being a person that has value, but on the negative side, meaning that they have value in things that I'm rich, so that gives me value. I live in a mansion, so that gives me value. I drive a Bugatti, that gives me value. All these materialistic things that really devalue over a course of time, that shouldn't be the standard that we live by. That shouldn't be the bond that we connect with. The materialistic things that don't add anything to a person's core principles and or their character, but yet and still, nowadays, that's what's important. I hope we get back to how we were raised and the grace that God gave us and the intellect to remember what yesteryear was, so we can bring it full circle in the year of 2026 and beyond, because we have to get back to those core values. We have to get back to those standards. If we have any hope of changing what's going on right now, we have to get back to those core values. Because I remember. I'm Eugene Napoleon. This is Napoleon's Corner. I'll see you next week. Take care.